mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now, do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Have some boxes to roll around.
We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this, make me feel like this.
Thank you, sweet Holly. There she is. Thank you, sweet Holly. Love you to pieces. One of those. Give our girl Holly a big thank you. Come on, man. Very sweet, my friend. Thank you so much for your support always, Holly. Really do appreciate it.
I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side. I'm gone, so don't run from the truth. You're lost, now I know you played me just like a flip. I still can't believe you had me on a leash, cutting all my teeth with all the lies you bring. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind, and I won't let you go. I need you by my side. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow, who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Today is September 15th, 2024. It is 6:10 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Good to see you all. Good to see you all in chat. Hello. Hope you all are well. You probably guys didn't think I was going live today. I didn't have anything planned. Been a little bit busy, but it is Sunday. You know, it's kind of one of those days where you're doing laundry and getting everything done for the upcoming work week, right? So here I am for at least a little bit. Hello, Laura. Happy birthday to Laura in the house. Happy birthday, my dear. Appreciate you. If remind me, guys, remind me to sing happy birthday to Laura at the end of the show here. And anyone else who has a birthday. If there's anyone else who has a birthday. So lots of Pale Rider. I know it's crazy. It's just crazy what's happening in the country, in the world right now. And it just shows you that hate is something that unfortunately is alive and well. 1 second, y'all, 1 second. Oh, guys, hold on. I might have got some little bit of breaking news here. Okay, here we go. Bear with me. I'm going to have to email this to myself. We're learning something. All right, let me make sure I got it by now. Okay, here we go. Let me load it. It's kind of off script, but let's go ahead and load it. Breaking right now. This is the person that we are learning that tried to attempted to pew pew former and candidate Trump, who this is who we're learning just came out, like, literally. I don't even know if it's hit the big media yet or not. So here he is. He's supposedly in his 50s or something, early 50s, early 50s. So yeah, yeah, there he is. I don't got his name. He's 58 years old. 58 years old. He was on a watch list for recruiting for Ukraine war. So there's that. There's that. Just wanted to bring it, Remy's. I know. I know. It feels like the Twilight Zone. It feels like the Twilight Zone. Luckily, it was unsuccessful. Thank God. So, anyway, let's talk. Last night was crazy, and it just feels like there's so much distractions in Sebastian's case, right? And I think for those of us that really care about this case, right? We need to stick on finding what happened to Sebastian, right? It seems like it's what did this person say at this dinner? What did that person say? Did they hug this person? Did they hug that person? Did they put a uh a email or something on a flyer? It's just insanity, and it really has nothing to do with Sebastian at all, like, at all, right? And I think one thing most of us YouTubers can agree on is that TikTok is crazy. It is crazy. Um, which I think it's supposed to be down the very end of January. coming up. Not too, just a few months, what? Like, 4, 5 months away. Yeah. Yeah. And, people, everyone has the creators that they like, you know, and creators that they don't. And that's just the way it's always going to be. Right? That's the way it's always going to be. And I don't know why people just can't get that through their heads. Hello, darling. Thank you. Terry Lynn had a good search yesterday. She doesn't deserve getting ripped up by the haters much. Well, it just, I don't know why people's always wanting to like drag people down. I mean, YouTube, do not be. There is. And I mean, it's like the Summer Wells case. Where now they're saying like even creators took Sebastian. Are we serious? Creators, people are being accused that creators are planting evidence. How do you plant evidence? And one thing that we need to make crystal clear, there has been nothing. And when I mean nothing, I mean nothing found, seen, heard at all of Sebastian Rogers since the night that he went missing on February 25th, going into the 26th. Nothing. Crystal clear alert. Right. And there's some things that I want to show you. People saying that they believe that these are Terry planted these. I mean, since when do we not accept facts as truth? Right? That's what I don't understand. And so let me just show you this before we get started on our other stuff. We're going to get started on just one second.
Search for missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. Investigators found a pair of pants in the search area last night. After a close examination, they determined the pants are not Sebastian's.
The 15-year.
Look at the headline. Look at that headline right there. How does someone take, I mean, how would Terry Lynn even get access to Sebastian's pants? Number one. When did you text it, honey? I've got so many texts right now. Let me see. One second. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Just looked. Okay. They have no shame. It's all terrible lies that they spew. Well, it's had Sebastian in her trunk. It could have been anyone's pants. Yeah, I mean, you go into the woods and you're going to find with my job, I see how crazy things are getting. It is scary. It is scary. It really is. Trying to say that she planted them and something about having Sebastian in her trunk. Guys, let me just tell you something. Please don't believe people with conspiracy theories. Please don't. Please don't. And think it through. Think the process through in what, because people say a lot, but a lot of times we just don't think that through, right? Let's think it through. How would she have done this? Is there any evidence of this? You know, it's beyond anything that I've ever seen. It was a stuffed animal that her friend gave her. I don't know, but you know, I just wanted to go over these pants because that part really bothers me, because I don't want, people out there thinking that they found something of Sebastian when they have not. They have not found anything. Distractions. Batgirl, distractions. Right? WSMV, police have stated that. Nick Barris has stated that in a post on May 2nd. Just WSMV4 has stated that. The Tennessean has stated that. Authorities find pants, say they do not belong to missing Sumner boy. Right? And so anyone that says there has been nothing planted, nothing. And that's the whole problem. Why are people saying things may have been planted, was planted, or someone like a creator took Sebastian? It's bizarre. Yeah. Yeah, Bear, I did, yes. I guess, Marlena, I guess. Hey, Ebony, good to see you. I guess. What I would say is follow the people that is not into these conspiracy theories, who is more interested in fighting with each other than finding or trying to find Sebastian, right? Oh, thank you, ambulance girl. That's so sweet, my friend. Thank you so much. You're such a gentle soul. I'm so glad your channel was recommended. Thank you, ambulance. Thank you, my dear. It's very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. I don't know. It's really sad for Sebastian. Listen to the experts, right? What do the experts say? Right? What does every former FBI agent, police officer, statement analysis, body analysis, and just the common sense tell you, right? This is a criminal case. This is a criminal case. There is not two ways about it. Not two ways about it. Now, who did it? I don't know. I won't say anyone in particular. But what I will say is people have been acting strange. People have been acting strange. Holly, I want to thank you too, my dear. Thank you for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Really appreciate you, my dear. If you received one of those, make sure you give our girl Holly a big, big thank you. It's a criminal case. It's someone that's very close to the parents, if not the parent or the parent, statistically speaking. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the only thing I can tell you is that there is nothing to suggest that Sebastian walked out at all, other than 6 a.m. when the mother leaves and at 3 a.m. when there is activity in their backyard, and then one parent, not parent, scratch, sorry, one person walks back to the house. And then the parents, the mother, the stepfather says, FBI, TBI has and analyzed that multiple times, and I assure you, those are not flashlights. Well, they are some sort of light. There's some sort of light, and there's some sort of car, and there's some sort of human activity. And that's what has me very interested, Cher. Very, very interested. Are we thinking over state lines now? Is that what we're thinking? Because if we look, just like you said, Cher, statistically speaking, more than, statistically speaking, it is always, not always, but generally someone in the home or that someone knows, the child or the family, right? Overwhelming majority of the time. You are more likely to be unalived by someone you know, love, care about, or have had some dealings with than you are a perfect stranger. That is the truth. Right? That's the question, Remy. You know, I don't understand why people who may, disagree with what you and I think, why do they never talk about this person going back to that house and not coming back? How about that? You don't ever hear that. It seems more about what, how many, what this person did at this party or whatever. Right? And going with that, we do know that there was some out of state activity that was going on in the family. Is his Amber Alert gone? Nope. Runaways do not have Amber Alerts. Walk-offs do not either. Yes. Well, and the FBI, just what Jennifer Coffindaffer said. Oh, thank you so much. When I walk, I whistle. Oh, I like that screen name. Thank you so much, Maggie. Appreciate you. Very much. Appreciate you. Thank you again, my dear. Very, very sweet of you. Your passion for the subject is more genuine than anyone I know. I hope people can feel the emotions you portray on screen and understand how important this is. Thank you. You are extraordinarily kind. When I walk, I whistle. Thank you so very much, my friend. Truth matters, right? Truth matters. Now, you can have your opinion, but your opinion has to be based on some truth, right? It's got to be based on some truth. Otherwise, it's a conspiracy. His Amber Alert is, sorry, it's going too fast. His Amber Alert is for danger and what they had at the time of the alert. Yes. Has all access to the videos. They have the technology to tweak the lights, videos. I'm certain they know who is involved and what happened. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, though, there is only so much even the FBI can do when tweaking a video, especially a grainy video. Those are really difficult. But I know if I can pull the outside shadow, the outline of a person, I know the FBI can do a hell of a lot more than I can. Right? Family members have stated that CP did those things to them when they were young. I don't know anything about that. Don't know anything about that. But I will say, and I have said all along, in my opinion, based upon what I know, what I've seen, what we've heard, I believe Sebastian would not be missing today if it wasn't for one person. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. And, someone who throws everything away. Everything away. It was stated early on they spoke to the card team and the CA. Yeah. And, none of us know what happened. But after listening to Jennifer Coffindaffer, and Jennifer, please do more Sebastian videos. Your information, your experiences is so interesting. Tomorrow she's supposed to put out something. I don't know what she's supposed to put out tomorrow, but something. And of course, our buddies, Josh here from the lab, who looks really good, by the way. He looks really good, doesn't he? Josh and Chris both look really good here. They just look good. Good people. Josh and of course Chris are some of the two that you can trust everything that comes from them. They're good people, right? Josh is hilarious. He is hilarious. And so I wanted to go over a little bit of here. Here. A link is provided in the description for Josh from the lab and Chris McDonough from the interview room. I was live last night and he was live actually, and I didn't get to see all of it, but then I went in there and of course it was insane last night in that chat. It got really bad. Like really crazy for a minute. It was just, I mean, I don't know, full moon, something. The day after Friday the 13th. I think Saturday's the 14th is what we need to worry about now. Not Friday the 13th. Saturday's the 14th. Woo! I don't know. I mean, I get we're all passionate about this case. I know I am. I know you are, right? But the thing that I've just never been able to understand, not only in just this case, is how does one fend, or these parents that seemingly are doing nothing. Who believes in the trash truck? Green Jules. Yeah. All right.
You doing good? You
that way.
Yeah.
And that was almost just under 3 years.
Let me fast forward it here.
Baffles me. It baffles investigators. It baffles people that pay attention to the case. How there can be so much around a case with so little is also baffling. And I want to tap into your expertise because you've been called to many situations where a child goes missing. And I don't know if you've ever went to one where they said, well, we think he ran away or you treat it as a runaway. But my first question would be, when you get a phone call and they say, a 15-year-old boy I don't know if they went into his medical conditions or not, but when you get a phone call and they say, the child goes missing, the 15-year-old goes missing,
Yes, Lexi.
as an investigator, lead investigator, because you are an investigator still, and you were a homicide detective, and you still do this stuff.
Yes, Chris. 6.5 earthquake in Canada just now. Oh my God. Chris still is active in the Cold Case Foundation. He does assist departments all over the country. He still, he does his YouTube and all kinds of stuff. He's always Chris is a servant at heart, right, for justice. And he also has a 90% solvability rate, right? Yep. Yep. Blue Angel. Yep. I just showed his picture just a moment ago. Right. And what do all, at least that I know, say? They still haven't left the house. Right. And this is the thing. If there is no evidence, right? Let's pretend KK was a babysitter. If the babysitter said Sebastian walked out the door, well, authorities, what they're going to do is they're going to check. They're going to get dogs for a scent. They're going to look at the cameras nearby. They're going to look for articles of clothing or anything that he could have dropped. They're going to look for footprints, shoe prints, right? They're going to ask witness statements. Did you see anyone walking in the area? And all of those came back negative. 0, didn't happen. So whenever that occurs, nothing. You have the babysitter saying, "Oh, he walked out of the house." And then you have the investigators who did everything to check. So what are they going to do? They're going to say, "We didn't find that information that he left this house." Could you further explain? Right? Because what you're saying is not panning out with what would happen if someone walked out of the house. At least 1 or 2 minimum of those, they would either find, well, they would definitely find a scent, right? Article of clothing, him on camera, footprint, shoe print, right? One of those. And that is just not the case. So the authorities are going to go back and say, we're not finding what you're seeing here. So fill us in.
Do you go into it thinking that this is a runaway, or do you treat it as a crime scene immediately?
Well, the sequence of events typically on these types of situations, the age is obviously a major consideration whenever law enforcement engages into a type of case like this. So the first responding officer's responsibility, meaning the first guy that gets the radio call, that individual is responsible to do a pretty rapid assessment in relationship to, is this a parental abduction? Because missing kids, the majority of missing kids are parental problems. Okay.
Yes. It has to play out that one or those involved have to be flushed. Social media is an asset. Absolutely.
And it's either a custody battle or it's something to that effect. And that's how immediately that first responding officer has to make that assessment. Okay. And then they have to assess, number two is the age of the child. If it's a teenager, then, 14 to 17, is this a runaway? Is this somebody mad at mom, mad at dad? So you want to get into the domestic side of relationships with inside of the family as well. The key here is law enforcement has 3 hours. Okay. Doctors and nurses know what the golden hour is, right? After a heart attack, you've got a certain amount of time, or a gunshot or a stabbing or anything like that. Well, it's the same principle with missing children. Within 3 hours, depending on the age of that child, and let's use Summer as an example, she's 5 years old. Within 3 hours,
I agree with that.
that child statistically has been shown, if it was a stranger abduction, that their life would have been taken already.
Yes. Yes. And we've got to think. We've got to think, right? What would be the motive of someone taking Sebastian? What would be the motive for that? What would be the motive of them to come take Sebastian, which there's no evidence, but of well, I mean, there's someone in the back of the house area with the car, but one of the people run back to the house. So what would be the motive? Because remember, Sebastian was by himself of the evening at the house with Katie before Katie got home, and he was with himself for several hours at a time with Seth at night. If he wanted to leave, he could have left then, or someone could have taken him then. But there being no scent leading to anywhere says to me, in my opinion, that he was either taken out by a car or taken out, carried out. Right. Now, that's just my opinion.
And Maddie Soto is a good example of that. Okay. So you'll hear in Maddie Soto's body camera with the responding officers who are meeting the parents, the mom and the boyfriend at the insurance office. They go out and they have their own conversation. They're like, why wasn't this a priority one? Why'd they hold it for so long?
That's right, troopers.
Because that responding officer knows what his or her responsibility is. And that is to set into motion, either shut the scene down or let's get some interviews moving. Okay. So I'll take it to that point right now.
It is such a rare thing for someone to, there's just a few cases out of I forget how many tens of thousands a year, but out of all modern history, really, that a stranger breaks in the house in the middle of the night or lures the child out. It is extraordinarily rare. These type of crimes, when a stranger kidnaps a child, it is usually a crime of opportunity, right? There's not an adult's eyes on that child at the time. They're walking to or from school, right? They're out in the neighborhood playing. But you're not going to go to this neighborhood at 3:00 in the morning and do that. Sebastian didn't like the dark. He didn't like to get dirty. None of it.
No. And, do you have any questions on that?
Yeah. So typically, and I know a lot of the times when police get called out and it's a 15, 16, 17-year-old or whatever, a lot of the times it definitely can be a runaway. And if the child, the teenager, has no.
Yep. Smart dad. I don't care what I say, you say about me. Rip my house apart. Just find my daughter, Mr. Ramsey. I don't care. If you clear us, rip our lives apart. Just do what you're supposed to do. That's right. That's right. And that's what Seth has done. What do you need? How can I provide it? Right? He's just trying. You don't care at that point. You just want your kid found. Do what you need to do. Find my son. Find my kid.
Issues of any kind, it would make sense. But when you find out, about Sebastian, that even the FBI says, that he basically needs help to get home. And, they put a $50,000 reward out. And we could talk about that in a little bit as well. But
case.
when you hear that he has the challenges that he does have, and there are many, and I don't want to really go into them because I'm not an expert at all about that stuff. But it would seem to me that would change the landscape pretty significantly and pretty fast.
Yeah, and that would be up to the first responding officer to determine what's the mental stability of the child. If the child is autistic, like
that as well too.
Like
that as well too. Now, Elizabeth, teenage boys aren't usually kidnapped. And if they are, it's usually for one motive and one motive only. And you can imagine what that motive would be, right? And, you know, people, and honest, and like if you have any sort of health issues or anything, I mean, this, if let's just say it was a stranger abduction, right? How would they know that a teenage boy lived there, right? And, Sebastian he has special needs. He has medical issues. That is something that they're not likely, to go in there and do something like that, because, he requires different medicines and all that, right? So it's extraordinarily, I can't even describe to you how unlikely it is that a person who did not know Sebastian did this, in my opinion, and statistically.
The young man here.
Mm.
And the mom or the dad or the stepdad or whoever says, well, he has the mental capacity of a blank age. Okay?
That's right. That's right, Hatter's Madness. If it was like a trafficker or anything like that, they're not going, that's not going to be their first candidate, right? It's just not. Anyone with like health issues or it's just not. That is, we know that.
And then the next question is, okay, well, what are the health stability factors? Meaning, is the child on medication? Is the child, in autistic children, obviously, and I'm not an expert in autistic, children at all in any way, shape, or form as well. But I know enough to process if the child's on medication, are they going to need those medications? If the child is afraid of the dark, if a child's afraid of lights, does sound, trip them up, et cetera, and the list goes on. All those assessments have to be done almost immediately with that first responder.
Girls
And so from there, they go into a searching mode. They want to go through the house. You want to go through any kind of electronics in today's world. You want to see if the child has a phone, if the child has access to computers, laptops, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, you want to look in every cupboard, under every bed, and in every door through the house, and you want to just basically exhaust that house, and then you want to pull what they call a BOLO out, a BOL, be on the lookout. Almost immediately, you want to get that into the environment, and that then you can start figuring out, okay, do we have an amber situation? Do we have an at-risk child here? Either or, let's get it into NCIC as quickly as possible. And then you want to lock it down in relationship to who's who in the zoo, where the parents, where the step parents, are there, is there access into the house, out of the house from, other entities, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, and today I did see a document that was out about Seth, the father of Sebastian,
Yep.
because some people have questioned, was he at work? Wasn't he?
Listen to this.
From everything that I understand that he is, and it seems like this document makes it very certain that he was accounted for from the time that Sebastian went missing. And at some
We know where Seth was. We knew it before, and we have documentation now. Right? Who do we not have documentation from? Wonder.
point, and I don't know why, maybe you can tell me. At some point, why does law enforcement not acknowledge that
Well, the email is.
publicly? Would you acknowledge that publicly as the lead on the case?
Well, in full transparency, I've had many conversations with Seth behind the scenes.
Hurley, thank you so much for the Cash App, my dear. Really appreciate that.
Sure.
He has called me. I've called him, but he reached out to me and on behalf of, his searching efforts for his son. And he wanted the Cold Case Foundation to get involved in relationship to, what we could bring to the table. And we talked about those dynamics and I'm a pretty straight shooter and he knows that. I told him, I said, look, you have to figure out why they're not, cutting you loose here. Okay. Because to me, if it was me and I was the case agent and there is beyond a reasonable doubt proof.
I think they did it probably, Vet Girl, because they wanted it to go through the lawyer, that way if people keep saying, perhaps slandering him and creating and saying false things like he wasn't at work, that way it went through the attorney. That's just my opinion.
That Seth was where he said he was, i.e. in the jail, in the county jail, etc., then you have to ask yourself, okay, then what's his motive? And does he have a third person or a second person involved in, helping to get his kid? Okay, for let's use the motive was a custody battle between, him and his ex, okay, etc. All right, well, that means
that's why
if the boy's on medication, well, you're going to have to take that into consideration. Because if he needs his
anyone, this is the thing. Anyone can clip that timesheet, email them, and say, can you confirm that this was sent? You guys sent this out, and they'll confirm
medication to maintain his mental stability, then Seth would have to pre-plan that to make sure that the young man, if he was taken out of that house by the biological father, had a medical plan in play too. And then from there, he would also.
Chris said last night that he thinks they need to, in his opinion, cut Seth loose first. Right.
Also have to put into play that he now has to hide him. And he has to hide him from TBI, YouTube,
Miss Curvy, it does
the
have
national media.
Miss Curvy, it does have his, let me show you. It does have his name on it. Right here, it says Seth R. Rogers. Seth R. Rogers, right there. It does. It's tiny, but it's up in the corner. There's a live at where the lady created explains it very well. I sent a channel to Justin, explains it very, very well. Okay, I'll look at it, Miss Kirby. Oops, where to go?
The FBI, okay, and still show that he was at work that night in a law enforcement facility.
Oh.
So if what's the old saying? If it's probable,
no, that's what I was saying. I think, if someone, if that's not still good enough for someone, I think, people could email them and just say, can you confirm that this was sent by your office?
but not, is it possible, but not probable? That's one of these situations where you go, okay, then what's the value proposition of coming out as the case agent in the sheriff's department and saying,
I guess why it didn't have his name on it with the email was maybe it was from the law office. I mean, it says I have attached Seth. Here, I'll show you. Let me show you this real quick. I have attached Seth Rogers' attendance record for the period you requested. The file name log entries sethrogers.pdf is based on Mr. Rogers' use of his username and password. The in-stamp and out-stamp data indicates the actual time of entries. The in-rounded and out-rounded indicates the time rounded to the nearest increment. 1 second. And it says something. Rogers made these digital records himself. The two files beginning timesheet indicate something. There you go.
You know what? Let's just tell the public he's not a primary focus.
I wonder about that
Either
myself,
way,
Sheriff.
you win from a law enforcement perspective. Because what you're doing is you may be freeing up resources to do other things. Okay. So to answer your question, I know that was a long answer to get to the thought process. If there is proof that he was at the jail, yes, cut him loose at this point. Cut him loose and let him.
Can we give Chris a round of applause right there? Yes, he is on video. You can get anyone to clock you in and out. No. Not at a jail. Not at a jail. You can't get out without your card. You cannot even get out without your card, Mimi. That is not true. This is a jail. You can't get 10 feet to the next door without your card.
Search for his son.
I mean, it's the fact. That's just the fact. Right.
And now then you have to ask the second side. Okay. And the second side is, well, who was the last person to see the boy? Who was the last person with
right, your badge.
Sebastian? And who, had means similar to Seth, okay, to get him out of that house. And that's why I've always thought the light situation, and I said this on Court TV recently with Vinny. I said, the reason they haven't.
That is true as well. His boss did verify it. Absolutely.
Pulled the father out of the circle yet is because of the lights in the back of the house. And for some reason, it would have to be this mass conspiracy from the biological dad, to get him and now stash him somewhere in another state. And because, obviously the child is, we're almost into 7 months here. And he, he's MIA. So yes, I would eliminate, at least publicly, I would come out and say, look, at this point, we have no evidence that the biological father is involved in this thing.
Yeah, and to the medication aspect of it, I don't know what kind of medication Sebastian was on. I don't know if it was a common one
I
or
don't
not.
think that's how it works.
It'd be really
here.
hard to get that medication under false pretenses, trying to.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God, yeah.
if somebody tried to fill his prescription and the pharmacy that has the prescription, you would have to contact the pharmacy to get that prescription moved to another. So they would have to, file or email the file over or whatever, however they do that. And law enforcement, I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, would probably try and track something like that if they could. They would go check the pharmacy. Has anybody requested this medication to be moved anywhere? And if it had been moved, then they would go check out that situation. But getting the medication under a false, name or something like that would probably be pretty difficult to pull off.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to pull off because, obviously, I mean, you could do it. Anything's possible. But then again, you go to this, okay.
In my opinion, and I think she probably gets it the easiest out of all three of them, is KK. I agree with you, Miss Kirby. I think she is the one that says she was the last. She was the last one to see him. Right? And she was the only one allegedly in that home other than Sebastian. And Sebastian is gone. And there is activity outside the house. And then one person goes back to the area of that house. What does that mean? If there are two people in a house, one is missing, and there is a person that goes back to that house and is not seen again, what does that mean?
Why would somebody kidnap the boy out of the house, know that he's on medication, or at least at some point come to this realization that this child needs medication? Okay. And then say, okay, I've got the child. You know what? I'm just going to keep him on his meds. Okay. I've gone through all of this work to evade capture, right? My risk level, I've lowered it to the point where nobody's found me yet. And I have this boy. Now I'm going to go get his medication and I'm going to maintain it.
Not at all.
So that, this doesn't turn into something different, i.e., who knows, right? Well, I don't know what kind of meds he was on, and I'm not going to try to guess. Okay? But if he was, then that in of itself becomes
Absolutely
something that has.
You better believe it, nobody. Absolutely. Listen, if Seth had not been at work or Sebastian had disappeared from his house, I'd have a different opinion. Hell yes. Hell yes. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. There's nothing personal, right? It's whoever. And their behavior afterwards and the things that we have learned just from their own mouths. Right? Thank you, Kiki. Good to see you, darling.
Has to be managed. And law enforcement will look through, they will look through the data. And if they get a flag somewhere, then that could be a lead.
Yeah, I tell you that it's not necessarily when you're okay. So when you're telling me that you told Seth, you have to get cut loose somehow, but that's not how the Cold Case Foundation gets involved with stuff either, is it?
No.
Can you explain how that would have to go?
Well, one of two ways that were requested by the law enforcement agency that they've run out of, places to go, things to do. Or the family can bring us in independent, but we have to have the family cleared.
We know that Mr. Foote said he did not want his daughter around Sebastian. Right? He didn't want him there. He says it. He doesn't say why, that I recall. But if you want someone out, and there's these back and forth between the two of you, and then a child is not found, well,
Because if our investigation takes it back to the family, and I'll just use Michael Vaughn as a perfect example. I mean, I can talk about it now, but Josh, I mean, you were aware, and Dr. Picotto was aware. I spent 4 months embedded with the Fruitland Police Department.
Working on behalf of the Fruitland Police Department.
Well, working on behalf of the Cold Case Foundation, helping them through their investigation with Michael's disappearance. And that's why I'm in the press conference in the back.
Yes, exactly. I agree with that, Mohawk. According to Nina, he was throwing out a 3-year-old bed, giving it to the neighbor. Why is it always personal against the little kids of his current wife? From each wife, I guess. Particularly the last two. The last two wives. Nina throwing out, according to Nina, just throwing out that little boy's bed, giving it to the neighbor. Right? And then he admitted to throwing out Sebastian's stuff, giving away a snake, admitted Katie had to get rid of the cats so they could keep their relationship if they wanted to go forward with their relationship. Sebastian's never let him live that down. Those are his words. Why throw out a bed? What purpose was it for that? I guess it was just being spiteful.
Back, I didn't want to be out there. And the Chief Huff said, "No, you're coming. Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, I got trolled left and right by YouTube, but I wasn't there for YouTube. I was there for a 5-year-old little boy. Now, the difference there is you'll notice I cleared the Brandy and Tyler. I was out there before we were embedded in the agency. because we wanted to make sure that, look, wherever the evidence takes us, that is the direction we are going. Okay. And so we made sure that we talked to everybody involved, the entire case file, et cetera. And we were comfortable that, okay, we've got another situation here. Let's take a look. And lo and behold, that's exactly where the evidence took us.
And so when you say that you can work on behalf of the family, do you still have, wouldn't you need interaction with law enforcement as well?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Whenever, someone throws away your stuff, right? Like your ex, it can mean power and control and domination. Narcissists often seek control over others. Disregarding your belongings is a way to demonstrate power by controlling your possessions. You can manipulate your emotions or their emotions, showing that they can assert dominance over your personal space and life. Lack of empathy. They generally lack empathy, meaning that they may not consider how their actions affect others. Throwing away your belongings could be done with little or no regard to your feelings, as they are primarily focused on their own needs, desires, or image. Devaluation phase. There are often a cycle of idealization and devaluation. Once the narcissist starts to devalue you, you can discard your belongings as part of pushing you away or pushing you for perceived slight or for no clear reason other than they have shifted in their view of you. Punishment and revenge. They can be vindictive when they feel slighted or threatened. If they believe you have challenged their ego or rejected them, throwing away your belongings can be a form of punishment or revenge. It's a way to hurt you or assert their superiority. It can also be by erasing, like a form to erase you. You're from their life. A way to reinforce that is to have control over the situation and can discard you emotionally just as easy. Impulse and rage. They often have poor emotional regulation and can act out it fits of impulsive anger. Throwing out your possessions could be part of a larger rage episode where they lash out deconstructively without thinking through the consequences. Thought that was interesting. I have them, but I don't know why they're not working. I need to contact YouTube. I made all kinds.
And that's what I'm saying. I was working directly with Fruitland at their agency. And of course, there's a tremendous amount of confidentiality that I'm not going to ever talk about until, they decide what they're going to do with it. Meaning if there's an arrest made and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, after trial, I can't talk about it. And so when we get involved in it, then we are under a confidentiality agreement with the agency. not with the family, with the agency. Okay. To make sure that all the T's and the I's are dotted and crossed.
Gotcha. And by the way, this was help that was offered to let me see.
I mean, after I think being married, what's the percentage of divorce after your on your third marriage? It's like 70% or something. There's not even a percentage on your fifth marriage. It's not even a percentage.
We offered it to Don Wells. And you even said, I won't even have anything to do with it. There's a bunch of people at the Cold Case Foundation that can work on this. You don't trust me, that's fine. Other people can work on it. You remember that conversation?
Yeah, sure. And
One second.
And Seth says right here, I have asked Sumner County Sheriff's Office and gave them all the information to Sumner County's office to be able to reach Chris as well. And he said that you know, they're just waiting for them to reach out to you. So Seth goes the route of asking law enforcement to get involved. Something Don didn't ask to do. Not that it would have been approved. We don't know one way or the other. But Seth has reached out.
that's correct.
And so there you go. And
26%.
It's really up to Sumner County now.
Yeah, here's the Cup McRock pile. So there's a big historical
I agree, nobody.
story behind
I
this,
don't think I would either.
but it's too lengthy to completely go into. But the bottom line was there is a psychic community in San Diego County called Harmony Grove. And that's where Donna Seraphin is.
Mhm.
She's part of that organization down there. But it was run back in the day by a woman by the name of Rosemarie Kerr. Rosemarie.
Thank you, Sweet Promise Roads, for 4 continuous months. Love you, Justin, and this community so much. I've been on family vacation this week, so missed all the lives in the last 5 days. Catching up on the new info also. I got engaged. Oh my God, I'm going to be a flower girl. Yes, slay. That is so awesome. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's so fun. That's so fun. Did you get proposed to this week? Promise? Listen, I can't wear white. I'm just going to tell you that. Can we do something? Can the flower girl do something other than white? Thursday morning. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you, darling. You deserve all the best. All the best, my love. Yes. I can't wear white either. Same. I just don't look good in white. A few collars you will rarely ever see me wearing. I'll wear like a cream collar, but I rarely wear white, just white. You rarely see me in just white, yellow, or orange. I know I'm making it about me. I'm sorry. I want to see pictures of the upcoming dress. Okay. Oh no, if you're curvy, girl, don't wear white. Yeah. Oh, I love pastel. Have you planned the wedding yet? I mean, I don't know how, like, is this a long-term Are you getting married in like next week? I'm also a minister. If you need somebody to marry, um, just kidding. Or is it going to be like spring, summer, winter, fall wedding?
And I, on a murder case, a couple of them, drove around, and she had the vibe that things would be under rocks in certain places. And so we got bulldozers, we got all kinds of stuff, dug it all up. Unfortunately, we didn't find anything.
Golly.
And when I came back to the office a couple days later,
Yes. Do I
I
get
had
to-
McRockpile, because my last name is McDonough,
Yeah.
sitting on my desk. You know, the cup runneth over, and they were like, you know, I've had some pretty crazy stuff in my career. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I sank a car one time.
We
You
talked about that the other day. I laughed so hard.
The USS 302 is what they called it. That's another show. So we'll talk about that one later. But literally, the water was coming into the patrol car.
The funniest part was I asked, I go, did you ever crash a car on duty? And you go, I sank one.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's
Yeah.
way different. That's worse than crashing.
Oh yeah, it was a good time had by all. They hung life preservers, all kinds of crap on my locker when I came back. I mean, rubber boots, everything. And they called it they put up on my locker the USS 302. You know, captain's locker.
I love that you chased somebody into a waterway in a car.
It was a bad day. It was a bad day.
If you ask me, it's a bit of double top.
How was he dressed? Secured.
Listen to this.
And you hear this as a first responder. Okay. And the first responder is going, okay, then what happened? We don't know. He's just gone. All right. How was he dressed?
Yes.
A, B, C, and D. Okay.
6'9".
But he had no shoes. Okay. How do you know that? Meaning you're the officer and you ask, and they say, well, because they're over here.
Let
All
me
right. So that night, you immediately in your notebook, you want to write, when the detective shows up, this is what was said. Okay. So the detective shows up, and we would show up in a team. There'd be 5 of us. And we would do what we call circle up. Okay. All the crime scene tapes up. And you get the first officer who responded. And you say, what did you see? What did you hear? What was said? Go. And you stand there with your notebook and you take notes.
Exactly.
Okay. What stuck out? What didn't sound right? DLR. Okay. What doesn't look right? Okay. And what was your impression? Well, you know, I thought it was weird that the child's not wearing any shoes.
How he can glitch? No, I don't. Mm-mm. Yeah, I don't think he's buying it either.
Really? Okay. Why? And you want to ask those kind of why moments to that first responder. And then from there, you go into phase 2 with, okay, well, what do we got going in terms of search and rescue? What's happening? And then you make assignments.
Oh.
And your supervisor is typically a sergeant or a lieutenant.
Hey, ICU, can you drop the
Your
Android
sergeant is running your team.
for memberships, please?
And your lieutenant is logistics. His or her job is to get
Update pictures
more people,
for your slides.
more coffee,
What's that?
More resources. Get everything quickly and get it all moving. And then from there, as the agencies are coming in, you have a command post established. And if your agency is big enough, which I know they have a bus, you park that bus, and now you can bring in your dispatch. You can bring in your comms,
Easy.
which is going to direct what everybody's doing. And then you have a board. You put it up on the wall and you say, okay, we have these agencies coming in with these amount of people. Okay. And you write their agencies down and you write how many people they got down. Then you take a giant map and you say, okay, Silver Springs or whatever, hypothetical, you've got this geographic sector. How many people do you have? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's the briefing. And by this time, you've put it all on a piece of paper. Okay. By this time, because you have support staff doing this, okay, with a picture, if you have it, because that's one of the things you want to get right away, with habit patterns, if you know them, height, weight, clothing, were any vehicles seen? Is there a possibility of a vehicle seen? And in this case, they put an Amber Alert out because probably the lights behind the house at 3:00 in the morning raised the hairs up on everybody's neck.
Oh, it absolutely did.
Right.
And that's why the Amber Alert's out.
Right.
So now you have a word salad. What do we tell the public? Well, you hold your first press conference and you tell them, this is what we're doing. This is who's involved. This is the area we've searched.
This is so valuable.
And these are the results we're expecting. You have not released the parents, i.e., you haven't cleared them. You haven't done anything with them at this point. Okay. None of that stuff is going on at that point. It is purely, let's find the boy. And now the case agent starts focusing on the house.
Did you hear that? The case agent starts doing the house, starts focusing on the house. How could they not focus on the house when there is nothing to suggest he walked out? Whenever there's activity at 3:30 in the morning and a person goes back, and also 6 a.m. in the morning. Carla, you are so sweet. Thank you, my love. Thank you. We love and appreciate you and continue to help. And thank you, my dear. Thank you so much, Carla. Appreciate you. Very, very sweet. Sebastian, we don't know if he actually reached home. That is true, technically. I personally think he did. But you're right. You're right. And if he didn't reach the house, then that would indicate by all accounts that Mrs. Foote would know. I wonder, was Katie's initial information offered or asked? Because I'm not thinking, was my kid wearing shoes when he left? All that's on my mind. My kid is gone. So let's talk about that a second. Whenever they did the press conferences in the first few days, right? They said, we don't even know really what Sebastian was wearing. Right? We don't even know what Sebastian was really wearing. Well, did Miss KK? Did I give update about? Did you give up? What do you mean? KP, I often wonder, did something happen on the way home? Did he have a meltdown when she was driving and an accident happened in terms of punishment? I mean, the thing is, Miss Curvy, I forget what time Seth said it was when they left the restaurant, when they were getting in the car. And it's only like a 10 or 15-minute drive. And the time fit like perfectly, but like there was no big amount of time from the time she left the restaurant until the time she is seen pulling in the driveway. And that's personally why I think he made it home. (5:56, 6 p.m.) Okay. 6:30, somewhere around there. I can't remember. Seth confirms the picture leaving the restaurant. Exactly. But it was like 15 minutes whenever she is seen pulling down her street and going in the garage. Justin, has Seth said if Sebastian was outside the car, or it is when he. Justin, has Seth said if Sebastian was outside the car? He was outside the car. I believe he was. You could just see the back of him, and it was like they were getting ready to get in the car, if that's what you mean. Oh, my Debbie. Thank you, sweetie, for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Thank you, love. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, give our Debbie a big, big thank you. Very, very sweet. Outside the car at the restaurant, not the house. Yes. Yes, outside the car at the restaurant, not the house. All right. I forgot to do it earlier for Holly's as well. Beep, beep, mother chickens. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. Beep, beep, mother chickens. Let me find it. Where's my mother chickens?
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes and
Thank you so much, Debbie and Holly, for the gifted memberships. Pearls look amazing on each of you. If you received one of those, make sure you give Debbie and, of course, Holly a big, big thank you because your application has been approved. Congratulations. Congratulations. Amy says, I'm convinced something bad happened in the garage. One of my theories, I wonder if Sebastian's room was a mess, and from what Seth has indicated when they got there, it was a mess. There was like wrappers and stuff behind the bed. And I wonder if Sebastian was taking out the trash, perhaps even throwing some of his stuff away. That would also be indicating if there is more than one adult home, which we don't know. But we don't know if he was at work either, right? And then after going back in like the garage area, someone got heated. Wondered that myself. Thank you, sweet Amy. Hey, Jeannie. Thank you, my dear darling. I agree, Holly. I agree. You know, I think it would just put a lot of, I think it would make a lot of us quiet if, you know, we had a, you know, a time card of when he says he was allegedly at work, as well with an email attachment, just like Seth did. And if he doesn't, why not? Has law enforcement dictated the dictator?
Something that I believe.
Have they? Have they dictated the dictator? Just wondering. Maybe. Maybe not. I like cats. Exactly, Carla. Exactly. Why not?
Because that's when you go through, you know, which everybody knows by this point, you should know, the
Oh,
victim risk continuum, right? You got that L, that big L, high, medium, low, you know, environment, situation, circumstance.
look
And
at
if
this.
everything
Very
starts
important.
going over here on the low column, okay, then there's a high probability that
Very
the
important.
offender knows the victim.
Yes.
Let's use Summer.
Yes.
5-year-olds just don't disappear
Yes.
from the basement. 15-year-olds just don't disappear
That's right.
from the interior of a house after a thud. I mean, you would think a thud would be the reverse. Somebody got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. And if the authorities came out and said, well, those were trash trucks back there. Okay. Have they said that? Have they come out and said that, Josh?
Were they trash trucks?
At 3 in the morning.
I believe that's what they said they were.
No, they
So
never
they
said
collect
that.
trash at 3 in the morning.
No. Law enforcement has never said that those were trash trucks. Ever. Ever. The only person that said that was actually Seth, who said the TBI said it was.
Morning in that neighborhood.
The TBI never said it to us.
Not according to the neighbors.
Well, I'm just asking. I mean, anybody can call the trash company and say, what are your hours of pickup?
Yeah.
In this neighborhood.
Yeah, so it was leaked to a local newsman, and then I believe law enforcement came out and said that it was trash trucks. Nothing to worry about. Something like that.
Well, as the case agent, I would want to know personally if those are trash trucks that are waiting on the streets behind the house. And why don't we see the trash trucks moving through the neighborhood?
By the way, it is one thing I am comfortable with saying 1,000%. It is not a trash truck. It's not a trash truck. 1,000% not a trash truck. Multiple ways I know that. Number one, trash trucks don't come at 3 a.m. Number two, common sense. Look at the photo or look at the video. Number three, every neighbor that I have spoken to that have seen video says, well, the one person said, I wanted to know why there was a car sitting outside of my house at 3:00 in the morning. And she said it's extremely clear that 3 or 3:30, there's a car, there is human activity, they do something around the car, and one person runs back. And then she said, and then you have to fast forward the recording a significant amount of time. And she said, then you see the trash truck, which looks like a trash truck. Later on, after you fast forward that. RT, my love, thank you so much. Did Mom KP receive any financial, benefits for SR? If so, is she still receiving them? I know that there are programs in Tennessee. I believe it's like $500, $5 or $550 a month. Can't remember. For the state will give you. Now, again, I cannot confirm that KK was receiving anything, but I do know that there are programs available in Tennessee, and it's not really. I don't think it's based on your income or anything. It's if you have special needs. So there's that. Lady Tit for Tat, thank you for gifting a pearl necklace, my sweeties. If you could, whoever received that pearl necklace, please give our lady in red, a big, big thank you. Not hard to find out exact person driving truck. Carol, I don't think it's based on income.
It so happens that it was at the time.
Well, I know every kid in Tennessee gets what I think it's called TRICARE or TennCare
That Sebastian
as
was,
well.
in that time frame that Sebastian disappeared. And this is
There we go. Carlos got it. Is $500. I couldn't remember if it was $5 or $550. Flat fee to be paid out for disability to children or parent with child who is disabled. TennCare. You get it? We're in Tennessee and they care. This was yesterday, R. Taylor. Yesterday.
Seth was told it was a trash truck. I mean,
Just
so
don't.
this came out from the FBI at the 6-month mark, where it said the FBI is offering a reward up to $50,000. And by the way, it says up to $50,000 for information leading to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Remarks Rogers has ties to Clarksville, which is where Seth is from. Sebastian, the detail says Sebastian.
See, I think we need to be looking south, in my opinion. South or west. If CP works at St. Jude, starts at 7 a.m., what was the coworker doing at the job at 5? Also CP there, in my opinion. Exactly. I wonder if they give.
Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen February 26, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and a black square framed glasses. Sebastian has medical conditions, including autism, that may impair his ability to safely return or to return safely without assistance.
I just don't understand why someone drives literally across the country and then flies to Alaska. Why don't you just fly to Washington and then fly to Alaska? Like, that's a good 2-day trip, maybe 3. Like, that's a lot of driving.
And let's see here. There was a part, it doesn't say it here for some reason. Hold on, let me see. Here, let me show you this here. There was one that said, and I'm not seeing it here. It was said that if it led to if it led to the arrest and prosecution of those responsible, but yet people say, well, this isn't an actual this isn't a investigation, a criminal investigation. And I cannot help but go back to every time thinking about that.
Yep, you can drive. You can drive to Alaska, of course. Yep, sure can.
That they searched
the long
the
haul.
landfill.
Well, how's it not a criminal investigation? What is it then? A missing person?
It's criminal.
I don't know.
I mean, a missing person investigation. Okay, you have an autistic 15-year-old missing person. And they put an Amber Alert out on him, so they think there's a vehicle somewhere potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and or somebody has said something, i.e., Don, hey, there's a red truck. I saw a red truck. Okay, well, we better put an Amber Alert out just in case. Okay, because remember that case was a dangerous child alert, right? And then it moved into
who even leaves when your grandson is missing and your son is there having to deal with all of this? Like, who leaves during that? How do you know if you get a pearl necklace? There will be a little green $sign next to your name. That's why, my dear. There's always a vehicle to throw smoke screen. Yes. They certainly didn't consider his. I don't think so in the first few days. I mean, they let him go 3.5 hours away and spend the night. 50 hours or so after.
Amber Alert because they were trying to find that red Toyota. And remember, then the sheriff came out and said, yeah, well, we got that red Toyota, so it's not, et cetera. But they haven't pulled the Amber Alert.
I agree, but it's still not a good look.
Because Dad said there was a
and your name will be green, yes.
So anybody could have said, yeah, there's a vehicle involved. We think there's a vehicle involved. And the law enforcement authorities don't have much of a choice but to listen to that and err on the side of caution, i.e. an Amber Alert. and put it up there. Now, where this gets tricky is when they come in and they say, this is not criminal or this or that. Okay. That doesn't mean they're not thinking there's criminal activity afoot here. Okay.
Exactly.
What they're thinking is we don't have enough evidence right now that can take us in either direction. It could be a walk away. And remember, they said it's the same conditions for Summer. Okay. Remember, Summer could have walked away.
Yes.
Okay? But Summer could have also been injured and intentionally hurt. Okay? So you can't come out and say, we know it's either or. So you tell the public, hey, well, we can't show criminal intent right now. It doesn't mean,
listen,
I mean, just do the math. You have the FBI.
Right. Of course.
What do?
Crime.
They don't investigate kids that walk out of the house.
Right.
They say, the resident agent goes, okay, you guys got it. We got to go get something else here. Okay. Meaning, i.e., bombs downtown off of Broadway in Nashville. Remember that guy that blew it up?
I do remember that. Yeah.
That's the feds.
Right.
That's their game. But in this situation, they're leaning because of the card team. The card team, I'll guarantee you, said, there's trouble in River City here. Something's going on, but we can't put our finger on it yet. We need more information. Okay, well, how are we going to do that? Well, let's flush $50,000 into the environment and see if that motivates somebody. Okay. The difference that law enforcement, they're going through a transition, and I've said this a couple of times, and we've said it on numerous occasions in some of the classes that we've been teaching. Law enforcement is going through a transition with the public.
Yeah.
YouTube,
well stated.
Free speech, the First Amendment, all this other stuff is a game changer.
Yep.
Just like the record industry, when vinyl records disappeared and, other forms of media came in, it's almost like watching 8-tracks, get taken over by cassette tapes. Okay. Well, the flow of information from law enforcement, okay, has changed in today's world.
Oh, that would be sad.
The digital age is not only good to get bad guys, but it's also information flow. And you can't control everything
What's wrong,
that
Rocky?
flows into the environment. So you have to just step back and let it do its own thing. And meaning you have to ignore them. Okay. And you see the successful agencies.
What is it, Roxy? What's wrong? What's going on? In my opinion, it's real easy to rent a car. Well, I don't think anyone rented a car. That would be stupid because you got to have credit cards, right? You're going to be seen on camera, all of that. This is someone's, if it's not their vehicle, this is a close friend or family member's car or someone that they have access, their car is on vacation or whatever. Josh was distracted last night. There was a lot going on. Yeah, but there's a lot of paper trail. I don't see BS driving or flying. Yeah, Chris really spells it out there. Thank you, witchy woman. Appreciate you, my dear. No, we don't do that. We don't do that drama. Nope. It's not us. It's not us. We're going to keep it about Sebastian, and we're just going to, someone having their opinion on something is fine. I certainly have my opinions, but your opinions have got to be on some factual things. People saying that a YouTuber took a Sebastian. Like, God. Unfortunately, some creators were not respecting Josh's chat. Was disappointing. Yeah, I know bad actors. Do you know when the coworker of CP got his vehicle back from him? See, I don't know. That is really a rumor, I guess, that there was a car or whatever that he was supposedly working on at the at the camping place. See, I don't think at that camping place they're going to let you like be underneath a car. And so in my opinion, I feel like if he was working on a car, it was somewhere much closer to home. That's my opinion. I think you mentioned on Terry Lynn's recording. I need to find it. Listen now. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I am going to call it a night. I will be here tomorrow. However, I won't. If I do, I'll be here sometimes between 10 o'clock and noon tomorrow. But I usually do my lives at anywhere from 5 to 6:30 Monday through Friday. And tomorrow, my boys have a tournament for something. And so if I am live in the evening, it will not be till probably 8 o'clock. What's wrong with Roxy? I can't see her message. What happened, Roxy? I just didn't want to. From me not chatting. Okay, well, you can email me. Okay. All right, honey. Yes, pray for Smiley's mom, please. Pray for Grace. Her brother passed away. Your email upset her. What email upset her? What email? So yeah, so tomorrow it'll be, if I'm live of the evening, it won't be till 8 o'clock. Yep, I said Smiley's mom too. Thank you guys. I love you, but I will be live in the morning, anywhere from as early as 10 o'clock and as late as around noon. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. I got to go to bed early tonight. Ugh. Love you. Oh, is Laura still here? This is a safe place. Absolutely. Okay. It's Laura's birthday. All right. This is my rendition of Happy Birthday, Mr. President, that the late, great Marilyn Monroe sang to JFK, the President of the United States, who she was allegedly having an affair with. That's not why we're here. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Laura. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, darling. Happy birthday. And many more, and many, many more. You're welcome. I will make an idiot out of myself singing happy birthday to every one of you if it makes you happy and makes you smile. I love you all. I love you all. Thank you all so much for joining me. You little shit. You know, I was live yesterday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, second to no one. Happy birthday to Happy birthday, second to no one. And if one more of you mother chickens say it's your birthday or was your birthday yesterday or the day before, the weekend before, you get it tomorrow. I love you all. I love you. I really, really love you. God bless each and every one of you. Truly. I will see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing. All right, guys. Good night.